started in week 1, we have done a segment called Do's and Don'ts, things that I want to see LSU do, things I don't want to see LSU do throughout the week. It's actually been pretty productive. You have really liked it. We've been posting on social media. It's been one of our higher clip videos, so we're going to continue to do it. Here's the number one thing I don't want LSU to do. Don't be passive defensively. I don't think that they will. I don't think they're going to really look over UCLA. Look, I think there's a situation where that I think a lot of people in that staff, there are people on that team that really do see the UCLA and say, hey, man, they're not a good football team. We got to go out there and take care of business, but they're not a good football team. I hope that is the same thing, not only on the field about not being passive and not just being ho-hum and going out there, because it's going to be my number one thing I want you to do is go out there and really be aggressive. But defensively, you cannot run what you run on a regular basis. This isn't a game to figure some things out. Do that shit against South Alabama. Then do that shit during the bye week that you have after South Alabama. Let's go out there and take this legit and go beat their ass. I don't blame that game plan on Blake Baker. That is a from the top game plan. Brian Kelly didn't want to show South Carolina shizite that they haven't shown on that USC film in week 1. They didn't want to do it. However, let's go. You can be ho-hum and you can be vanilla defensively. And I'm talking about defense here. You can be vanilla defensively when you go up 28. Go up 4 scores, and then you can be a little ho-hum and vanilla. Until then, let's go out there and beat a Big Ten opponent's ass. I'm tired of this passive-aggressive shit. The more reps that you get against a live opponent, the more live reps you get against a live opponent to do what you're going to do in other big-time key matchups and show them, because they got to prepare for everything, man. You send tons of blitzes. They got to prepare for everything. Come out there and pop them in the mouth. As the greatest movie ever created, I'm going to quote Remember the Titans, which I watch every single year to start the year. Remember the Titans. Herman, leave no doubt. Run it up. Run it up like it's a Linkin Park song. All right. There's only one other thing that I don't want to get I don't want LSU to do. I actually mentioned it on accident in number 1. Get the game in hand before you start doing some creative things. Look, again, guys, I would be stunned. I'm serious when I say this. I would be literally stunned if LSU cannot beat UCLA. I will come out here, brother. I will be throwing things. I'm serious. Look, I'm going to be real with you. I don't think UCLA is as bad as Nichols. They're not good. And even though you came out like ass cheeks against Nichols, you should be able to come out here and physically dominate from start to finish on this opponent. I think that there's going to be some things that they do to challenge you, but there shouldn't be any fears that we have here when it comes to this team. Please don't make me an ass this week. Show what you got. Let the game get out of hand a little bit before get up 2 or 3 scores and then start working on some things. Guys, they're not a good football team. They might play up for you, but they got their asses whipped against Indiana. And I'm going to tell you, if Indiana can whip that ass the way that they did, and I love me some Kurt Cignetti. He's a Paisan, man. I love him to death. I love all these great Italian coaches. We need more great Italian coaches. Make Italian coaching great again. Okay? Listen, if they can bust that ass, you better be able to bust that ass, because I'm going to come out here throwing shit. Let's go do it. 5 do's. 5 things I need to see LSU do this week. Look, the last 3 games that you've had, you have come out slow offensively. You've come out really bad. Actually, ironically, you haven't been too bad defensively. You were pretty good against USC in the first half. Guys, you gave up 10 points in the first half. Like, I thought you were really, really good defensively on a lot of things that you did. Truth be told, though, every single game that you've come out in offensively, you've either gotten to the red zone and couldn't score, or you've had some 3 and outs. And the bottom line be told, or you got stopped. Bottom line be told, I want you to take the ball first in this game. I really want you to go out there and beat the ever-living shit out of them. I think you got to go out there guns blazing. At some point, you got to get out to a fast start. You can't keep playing from behind. Guys, against USC and against South Carolina, you were from behind. That's what she said. Okay? You would go in and take the lead. In one game, you couldn't finish. Also what she said. And in the other game, you could. That's also what she said. But I am tired of slow starts. And there were even times last year, I'll be real with you, Jaden Daniels, it would take Jaden Daniels, man, when you're in the winter and you got to go outside and start your car because you got there's frost on your windshield, and you got to go start the car and put the heater on and the defrost to get all the ice off of your car. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That's how LSU's offense works. Gonna be cold as hell to start the game. But as time goes on, they'll get a little bit hotter. Sometimes they'll be scorching. You know the exact feeling that I'm thinking right now. What I want your offense to look like this week is like what Louisiana summer was last year during the drought. And the heat index is 114 on every single day. It's hot as dog piss outside. Okay? Start out hot. And I don't mind in this game if you cool off a little bit if you are up multiple scores. If you're up 2, 3, 4 scores. You got to come out guns blazing. Stop messing around with teams and go out there and smack somebody's ass. Number 2, I want Caden Durham to be running back number 1. Play 1, run 1. If it's Josh Williams, I actually don't mind it. I need 15 touches. Don't care how they look. I need 15 touches from Caden Durham at minimum. At minimum. If he is going to do that against South Carolina, there's a very strong possibility he can do that to UCLA. Get after that ass. Put Caden Durham out there. Look, man, true. Here comes another truth be told. I love Caleb Jackson. I think Caleb Jackson has the ability to be a really good back. However, I just think that there's something disconnected with him at the current moment. I don't know what it is. I have not even come close to giving up on Caleb Jackson. Got to give Caden Durham touches if he's going to be that hot. Number 3. Keep spreading out the run game. Guys, in the second half, LSU got away from bunch formations when they're running the football. Got to get back to it. You got to get teams to get numbers out of the box. Going to be interesting this week to see how UCLA does it. They did it last week to Indiana, and then when Indiana started smacking that ass through the air, UCLA would have 5, 6 guys in the box at max, and then they started running the football. Now, UCLA was able to stop the run against Indiana. All I'm saying is they like to play very aggressively. Defensively, they want to get after the quarterback. Got to spread them out if you're going to try to run the football. Actually, it wasn't 4. Actually, it wasn't 5. It was 4. Number 4 point. In the last 3 games offensively, you have gone up. Or no, of the last 3 Power 4 opponents that you've played, there hasn't been one game that you have not thrown an interception. Hasn't been one game that you hadn't had a turnover. LSU needs a no turnover game. No turnovers. Zero, zilch, nada. The reason that is a big deal to me revolves around the easy point. That will more than likely lead to a very clean game by Garrett Nussmeier. I think that Garrett is a couple of missteps away in some of the decision-making that he does to being one of the more elite college quarterbacks in the game right now. So, but don't turn the football over. Don't, God forbid UCLA finds a way to stay around with you and the game's 10-10 and they've been running the football all over the place. Basically, they nickels you and you're like, bro, what is going on right now? What is going on? Why is Nichols even remotely in this game? Don't turn the football over. Play clean. Play right. Play fast. Play aggressive. And even if you throw a pick, but the interception is like you're throwing a fade route and maybe you overthrow it a little or underthrow it, but it's not a bad decision because it's in single coverage and you're trying to give your quarterback or wide receiver a chance, I don't really mind about that. But the last time, and Garrett does know this because he was here when that happened, because he was here in 21. Garrett, the last time that you and Blake Baker, which let's call it what it is, Blake Baker and Garrett Nussmeier and Corey Raymond are the only three coaches that remember that ass whooping we took. Now, Garrett Dellinger, too. Josh Williams, too. Go out there and let's put an ass whooping on these kids. These dudes. Not kids. Dudes.